All right, so let's go over the pre-trip vehicle check, and this is what they have you do on the test for the Class 7 and Class 5, as well as the Class 4. But the Class 4 pre-trip check is a little bit more in-depth, so my focus here right now is on Class 7 and Class 5 for the ICBC test. So for vehicles equipped with a keyed ignition, turn key clockwise. The first setting when you turn it is accessory, second position is on, and then the third setting is start. Okay, so to start the vehicle, you need to turn it over the start setting. Once you hear the engine has started and or the tachometer is not resting at 0, you can let go of the key and it will revert back to the on position. So you put the key in, turn 1 accessory, next one is on, but on doesn't mean the car is on. You need to go one more to start, and then you can let go of the key once the car started. Okay, and it's important not to just hold it in that starting position for too long, because in the older cars you will damage your starter motor. With the newer cars, they do have protection so that even if you're holding it for too long, it just disregards what you're doing. Of course, if you've got a push start, so for a vehicle equipped with a push button start, press the brake pedal before pressing the start button. If the brake pedal is not pressed and then you've pressed the button, the first press on the start button will put the car into accessory mode. So same idea here. The subsequent press will put the car onto on mode. However, unless you press the brake pedal while you're pressing the start button, the vehicle will not start. This is a safety mechanism so that you don't just start the car and then it rolls away or something. Now this is your tachometer here, so most cars will have this. It will say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, and underneath it will in small font usually say times 1000 RPM. So this is telling you how fast your engine's turning. When your engine's off, your needle will be resting on 0, but if the engine is already started, it's resting somewhere between 0 and 1. So sometimes students get into my car and they're like, is the car started? And I'm like, I don't know, look at your tachometer, and it's going to tell you if your engine or your combustion engine is running or not. Okay. Please note, only vehicle with combustion engines will have the tachometer. Electric cars usually denote a ready symbol when the vehicle has been started successfully. Okay, so two different mechanisms here. As combustion engines become obsolete, you're probably going to see more of this, but right now these are more the rule rather than the exception. Now the next thing you need to make sure, or you should be sure before you show up to the road test, is does your vehicle have enough fuel or charge? Okay, so the examiner can refuse a road test if there's not enough fuel or charge in the vehicle. So they'll check for that at the beginning of the test as well. And they're checking to see if there are any warning lights on your dash, such as the airbag. The examiner can refuse a vehicle that is in need of repair. So if there's an airbag light on, that's going to say that your airbags will not deploy if there's a collision. So it's telling you, hey, you need to get your airbags checked out. It's often the case if there's a repair check engine light on, usually they're okay with that. But again, it's at the discretion, I think, of the examiner. And the other things you need to know is, do you know how to turn on the headlights? So make sure you're looking for this icon in your vehicle. Usually it's on your left lever. Maybe you're turning it clockwise, or in some cars there's a knob closer to your window where your left side air vent, where you just pull the knob out or you turn the knob. So make sure you know how to put it on this setting. And then, do you know how to turn on the high beams, right? And so that's usually on the left lever. In some cars, in Japanese cars, you usually push it away from you, and that leaves the high beams on. Or in some of the German cars, you pull the lever towards you, you hear a clicking sound, and then it stays on. So whether it's forward or back, figure out which way it is. And in one direction, some vehicles, when you pull it towards you, you're just flashing the high beams, but the moment you let go of the lever, it stops, it turns off the high beams. but on the road test, they need to see that you know how to turn it on and leave it on. Okay, so know how to turn on your headlights, and sometimes they call these low beams. Okay, it's the same idea. And then this is your high beams. Okay, so when you go on the test, she'll say, turn on your headlights, turn on your high beams, cancel and cancel. And then they want to see that you know how to turn these on and turn them off. Now, another thing is, for the high beams to come on, very often in most vehicles, you'll have to turn on the headlights first, and then you can engage the high beam permanently on setting. So you're able to flash the high beams in most vehicles without turning your headlights. But if you need to leave it on, which is the case for the road test at the beginning when she's checking your headlights, you need to be able to turn on your headlights and then engage your high beams, and then cancel your high beams, and then put your lights back onto auto if you have that setting, or leave your headlights on if it's raining or if it's dark. Okay.